evening, everyone, and welcome back to Cold Waters. I'm Captain Numpty, or David Steele, and here's my boat. And today we're in the USS Drum. I think that's SSN-677, if memory serves me correctly. It's been a while. And we are fairly close to Greenland. Let's take a look at the situation report. Greenland is to the east. It's actually not showing on the map, but okay, that's fine.
Sonar, new contact bearing 358, designated Sierra 5.
And Intel has invited us, and by means of an invite, we're going to go and investigate and tackle what they believe is a pretty in-your-face resupply mission that the Soviets have put on. Now, yeah, if this is what we're seeing, this is going to be very, oh yeah.
Con sonar, Sierra 3 is classified as merchant.
That's another one. Okay. Well, looks like they were right then. Boomer. No, that's an Oscar. Okay.
Con sonar, Sierra 1 is classified as submerged submarine.
Well, it's very topical right now to have Greenland in the news because I don't wish to be accused of political nonsense, but see, here's the deal. You don't have to be left-wing.
Con sonar, Sierra 2 is classified as submerged submarine.
Or right-wing, or anything else. You don't even have to have lived in Europe that was mauled by fascists and I have to blank this out, and Nazis.
Con sonar, Sierra 5 is classified as submerged submarine.
To see one or two little danger signs emerging, and all this hurtful, hateful rhetoric about stealing Greenland from Denmark is not really helping things. Still, today we are stopping the Soviets, or the Russians, from doing something terrible to Greenland, and not our American friends, because
Con sonar, Sierra 5 is cavitating.
Because back in '84, of course, we're talking about the UK and the US being good friends. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this battle, because we don't know exactly what we're facing. And war has been going on for a period of time, so what have we got on board? Oh, we're about half. 7 Mark 48s, that's a pretty good compliment, but we may have more than 7 targets. Some harpoons, not harms. I inadvertently call these harms in a recent mission, and a single moss, and they were used in the early 80s, so that works for me. Romeo is the first thing we've got a reasonable acoustic signature on, and he is sitting at about 500 feet. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and turn northeast.
Come right to 048, helm I.
Let's see if we can get a bit of a better acoustic reading. So my thought right now is my primary target are the Dons, the resupply boats, because without those resupplies, the rest of the Navy are not exactly cut off, but they're not in a good way. So if I can tackle those, let's get my depth to
Make depth 100 feet, dive I.
It's 100 feet. It's a weak duct and a weak layer, but it might make a difference. We'll go ahead and get ourselves above the layer, and we'll have a listen, see what we can hear up there. Accelerate time. Oscar is an interesting boat to be up against. Those things are...
Con, helm, steady course.
Well, they're not...
Dive at 100 feet, dive I.
They're not attack boats by any stretch, but they are capable. Romeo, no big deal. It says 65s, not particularly good range. The Oscars, however, you said 80s, and SSN-16. So yeah, they're a difficult. Take to 3s. I get on the surface, the Don is a. If I get on the surface, the Don could shoot at me with his guns, but otherwise... Well, I could very much announce my presence by torpedoing this Romeo, but I don't think that's really going to help me. I think what I maybe want to do is see if I can get a little closer. That's always a plan. Right. It's at the right time, I think.
Con sonar, new contact.
Passing 200 feet.
Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. The fact there's more contest. This could be anything, of course, but it's possibly something below the layer. That's what my money would be on. It's a boomer.
Con sonar, Sierra 6.
Passing 300 feet.
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, we don't want to cause an incident, but what's a boomer doing so close to the continental United States of America? That kind of question is never really gonna go. There isn't a good answer for that. So yeah, we'll see.
Passing 400 feet.
To flatten off my dive, I think. Right. Let's let that play out a little bit. So there's some hesitancy in my speech right now because there's a lot of background noise here, and even though a noise canceling's probably going to take care of most of it,
358, helm aye.
it's disruptive for my thought process. Okay.
Con, helm, steady course.
I wonder if Sierra...
Con sonar, new contact bearing 298, designated Sierra 7.
I wonder if Sierra won this Oscar and has happenstance to have gotten itself resupplied, and now it's heading off. Maybe that's what's going on. 07's a Tango. No,
Con sonar, Sierra 7 is classified as submerged submarine.
there's a lot of different classifications of vessels here. Those dawns are awfully tempting. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get some harpoons. Harpoons. Yeah, harpoons, not harms. Get some harpoons loaded. We're going to tackle those dawns with this anti-surface weapons, I think, with missiles. Good grief, okay, can you get me words out? But I think to make life a little easier, I'm going to turn around. Oh,
Come left
that's
to
not good.
247, helm aye.
That Romeo just pinged me. It did. Well, bugger. That's a shame. I have to give you one of these.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
My foiled
Con
hands.
sonar, launch transient from Sierra 2.
Okay, that's bad.
Make turns for 15 knots. Maneuvering
Take
aye.
some comfort. I'm going to send one towards this Oscar. I don't think it's going to reach it, but we'll... No, actually... Yeah, we will. We'll send one towards
Con
this.
sonar, lost contact. Sierra 7, last bearing 29. Con sonar, launch transient from Sierra 2.
Okay, so this is bad news because the Romeo did detect me.
Torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Guess I was napping when that happened, and this almost certainly alerted everyone else. He pinged me for one. I mean, that's a pretty big sign that not
Passing
everything
400 feet.
is doing so well. So I could do with
Con, helm, steady course.
a hero right now. I'm gonna... I think I can get out of his engagement window
Con
without
sonar, noisemaker bearing 331.
coming under, basically ruining. Oh my.
Come right to 0.
That's very bad.
8, helm aye.
They threw a standoff weapon. Okay, that's exactly what I would have done. So, yep, I am now stuck in the middle.
Con sonar, torpedo in the water, torpedo in the water.
Here's my
bearing
surprise face.
116.
So now I'm going to try and have to manage this engagement. This is going to be very sticky. Oh,
Come right to 046, helm
that
aye.
thing's very sticky. So I'm going to drop a noisemaker.
Torpedo room, tube 4 ready. Passing 200 feet.
That
Con
noisemaker's
sonar,
going to
we are
help.
cavitating.
And get one of these,
Shoot 2-3. Aye, sir.
one of these, and then one of these.
Make turns for 2,
Alright.
6.
Basically, I've just launched my 2 harpoon missiles, and
Passing
I'm
200
gonna
feet.
hit the deck. I have left it too late to evade. We'll see.
Passing 300 feet. Passing 400 feet.
Okay.
Con sonar, no longer cavitating.
Now, if that sounded real calm and collected and assured, yeah,
Passing 600 feet.
it really wasn't, because there's a lot that could have gone wrong there. But thankfully,
Passing 700 feet.
everything played out. So far.
Passing 800 feet.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Con sonar, torpedo in the water, torpedo in the water.
There's
Bearing
another
3, 1, 8.
Whoa, I did not want to see that.
Passing 900 feet.
Cool as it was, I did not want to see that.
Passing 1,000 feet.
Okay, so I got one coming in from the side. Let's turn away from it.
Passing 1,100 feet.
Depth is still pretty high.
Con,
Dive,
knuckle
dive.
formed.
Aha, finally got my knuckles on because I got enough speed.
Passing
Okay.
1,200 feet.
Dare say, that did take
Passing
nerves.
1,300 feet.
Right, depth, depth, depth.
Con, knuckle
Now
formed.
below the test depth. That's not great. But we have knuckles on, and
Maneuvering, making turns for
these torpedoes are
2,
above me. Let's keep this
6,
one behind my
9.
knuckle.
Con, knuckle formed.
Okay, and then
Passing 1,300 feet.
let's turn out this guy's way. Let's turn the opposite way again.
Con, knuckle formed. Passing 1,200 feet.
Okay,
Con, torpedo room, tube 4 ready.
climb, climb,
Passing
climb.
1,100 feet.
Go ahead and turn to port.
Passing 1,000 feet.
Another knuckle, turn to starboard.
Con, knuckle formed.
Okay, I mean it does help a little bit.
800 feet. Passing 700 feet. Con, knuckle formed. Passing 600 feet.
Okay, and I'll drop another noisemaker right here. Immediately reverse my turn and get
Con, knuckle formed.
keep the dive. I know. Let's actually straighten up. These 3 torpedoes behind me are all over a
Passing
mess.
700 feet.
So I know they're going to follow me, like so.
Passing 800 feet.
But I've got a good rate of descent going on, which means hopefully I
Passing
can
900 feet.
avoid them for long enough. Looks like I may have done
Passing
it.
1,000 feet.
Good lad.
Passing 1,100 feet.
Okay, let's pitch up. Let's try and level off about 1,200 feet,
Con,
give or
torpedo
take.
room, tube 1 ready.
That will do me.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 5.
Con, knuckle formed.
The knuckle. Let's keep these things at bay. Right, let's switch back to the map view. We've got the Romeo, we've got one of the Dons. Okay, good.
Passing 1,200 feet.
That is very good. So I've got one down.
Con, knuckle formed.
We might see the wreckage of the Romeo ahead of us. Yeah, we do. And something else. I guess that's another Don sinking in the distance. Okay, that's good. Right. Torpedoes are raining down like they do in Missile Command.
Con, knuckle
And I
formed.
didn't get one off towards that Victor 3, and he looks like he headed east. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn east myself. I'd like to get my decoy off, but I don't know whether I can afford to slow down.
Con, knuckle formed.
Guess we'll
Make
try
turns for 2, 0. Con sonar, torpedo in the water, torpedo in the water.
This is another
Bearing
one.
3, 5, 5.
it. Okay, that's fair enough.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra. Make turns for 2, 6 knots.
I'm going to
Maneuvering
ascend. I'm going to go in southeast south. So, I don't really want to go that. Actually, no, I don't. There's a
Passing
torpedo.
1,100 feet.
I'm like boxed in here amongst a lot of different torpedoes, and I've used my one and only moss.
Passing 1,000 feet.
I don't want to go too far away from that.
Passing 900 feet.
Okay, so these 2 torpedoes to my north are tracking south, heading
Passing 800 feet.
right for this moss. So I'm going to get up
Passing
to
700 feet.
the 600 feet point. This will do, close enough. Like so, yep. Try and get out of their sensor detection range so that when they lose track of the moss, they don't come and they go for me. Now see that torpedo behind me to the west? It did not detect me.
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
When it turned around, and that's good news, because that means that I changed my depth sufficient and I had enough distance. I'm only about 1,000 yards away. That said, it just blew up, so maybe it was targeting the Romeo. Now, assuming these are USET 80s, I think that they have a 2,000, assume it's 3,000 yard range.
Maneuvering, making turns for 26 knots.
2,000 yards, yeah, I'm
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 5, last bearing 015. Contact faded.
I'm only 2,000 yards away, so there's a good chance that these USET 80s are going to detect me. So let's do something bold.
Passing 6.
Make turns for 20 knots.
We're
Maneuvering
going to
aye.
ascend to maybe 100 feet.
Con maneuvering, making
Passing 500 feet.
We're going to bring the
Depth 100 feet. Dive high.
speed
con
down as we
sonar
do.
regained contact on Sierra. Make turns for 15 knots. Maneuvering aye. Make turns for 1. Con sonar, torpedo in the water, bearing
Mhm.
279.
Alright, didn't work because one of those torpedoes behind me detected me, but it's like I immediately dropped off its
Passing
sensors.
200 feet.
Might get away with this yet. Let's go to ultra
Break
quiet.
shift for ultra quiet.
Okay, I see it circling around. Oh, no, it looks like it's got me.
Passing 100 feet.
Ah, that's a shame. Let's give it a few seconds. I don't
Con sonar, launch transient from Sierra 5.
want the second one to acquire me as well, and I think it did. Okay. What's the politically correct way of saying this? Nutsacks.
Make turns for 2. Con sonar, we are cavitating.
Clearly for peanut butter, right? Or peanuts. What is a Sierra 8? I don't know what Sierra 8 is, but I do know
Make turns for 20 knots. Maneuvering
Sierra
aye.
5 is in that direction. So I have one of these, you bastard.
Make turns for 26 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Right. I need to get behind this moss, or at least fob off
Passing
these
300 feet.
two USET 80s towards that decoy.
Passing 400 feet.
Con
So-
sonar, no longer cavitating.
We're notching these two. Let's crank that up a little bit.
Passing 500 feet.
Right. So we're about the 500 feet point. They're coming in from the side. I don't want to wait till I see the whites of their eye, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my depth a little bit. I'm going to point the nose upwards. In fact, let's actually go ahead and prepare this. Let's get my ballast fully down. Like so. Then,
Passing 500 feet.
noisemaker and commit to the turn.
Con, knuckle formed.
Right, let's see if that works. So we're going harder port. The noisemaker down there. We're going to drop our depth to 1,300 feet as quickly as we can.
Passing 500 feet.
Hopefully,
Come left to 269. Helm aye.
I'm not going to get picked
Passing
up.
600 feet.
I got a feeling we are going to get picked up by one of those torpedoes behind me. Yep, I just
Passing
did.
700 feet.
But I figured I'd try it.
Con, helm, steady course.
Passing
Oh, that
800 feet.
was a bit dramatic, boys and girls.
Passing 900 feet.
It may work.
Passing 1,000 feet. Passing 1,100 feet.
This might
Passing 1,200 feet.
work. I'm already at full chat, which is good. And I'm at
Passing 1,300
1,300
feet.
feet. I'm going to just let it sit below its test depth. And I think what I want to do is point my nose towards the
Come right
moss.
to
That'll do.
290. Helm aye.
Let's see if that worked. There they are. Now they are going to detect me, I know that, but when they do, the hope is that I'm going to be far enough away
Con,
that
helm, steady course.
I'll be close enough to the moss that when they catch up with me, they will attack the moss and not me. Right,
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 5, bearing 022.
So I need to see what else could be happening out there. There is a torpedo already engaging with the Moss right now. I could do with not getting a third one. Managed to put 1,500
Con
yards
sonar noisemaker bearing 337.
between myself and those two USS-80s. There's a noisemaker kicking off some... Oh, that must be the Oscar. That was a while ago. I fired that. Okay. Moment of truth. So, yeah, there we go. So one of the USS-80s behind me looks like it's detected me. It was the furthest one, which means that the nearer one will detect me at the next pass. In fact, it looks like it's descending already to my depth. Okay. We figured that was going to happen. I'm still 1,000 to 4,500 yards from the Moss, so I can't.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 3, last bearing 336. Contact breaking up.
Ooh, we got the Dawn. I guess either it took a harpoon and has now finally sank, or something else. It looks like we might have got the Boomer as well. Oh, no, we didn't. No, okay. Alright, well, we've got our primary targets, and that's good. What is not good is another torpedo coming down from the east-northeast. There's not much I can really do about that
Con, knuckle formed.
right now. Until my torpedo gets close and directly threatens the Victor 3. Sometimes you just got to trust the Mark 48 to do its thing. So we know the Victor 3 was... still see its sonar ping.
Con, knuckle formed.
You can tell the depth that this thing's at. Pretty deep. Okay, that means that the Victor 3 is also pretty deep as well. All likelihood is it's also deep. This is going to be in navigation mode right now.
Con, knuckle formed.
And it's traveled a long way, but then as I saw with the whatever hit their Dawn, if that was a Mark 48, that had also traveled a long way. They've got a decent range.
Con, knuckle formed.
Oh, and there's a torpedo approaching from the northwest as well. That's always good.
Con, knuckle formed.
I want to keep knuckling off these two USS-80s behind me. I'd love to get them on their way to attack something else. I wonder if that torpedo that appeared to the essentially in front of that Moss, if that just happened to be dropped on the Moss's head by a distant submarine.
Con, knuckle formed.
It would make sense.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 5, last bearing 039. Contact is in the baffles.
But right now, I would be very content with disappearing in the depths, because I've already achieved my primary mission, which is to destroy the resupply boats, ships. And now that's complete, anything that survives this little engagement with me is going to be short of supplies, or could be getting short of supplies is perhaps more accurate. This torpedo's awful close.
Con, knuckle formed.
So you're going to change depth. Let's give it a noisemaker as
Passing
well.
1,300 feet.
Let's crank it on round. I'm going to see if I can head north.
Passing 1,200 feet.
Sturgeon's not... Hey, it blew up. That's great.
Passing 1,100 feet.
Not so great that this
Con,
thing is
knuckle
reacquiring.
formed.
Let's switch back to my view.
Passing 1,000 feet.
Okay, that's good.
Passing 900 feet.
It's going to be getting low on fuel as well.
Passing 800 feet.
Yeah, I don't actually
Passing
want to go
700
north.
feet.
Hey, okay.
Passing 600.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Passing 500 feet.
Actually, we do wish to be above the layer here, I think.
Make
Go to
depth
100 feet.
100 feet. Dive
Okay,
by.
switch back to the map. So,
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 5, bearing 041.
looks
Con
like
sonar regain. Con sonar. Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 028.
that's really annoying.
Con sonar. Launch transient from Sierra 7.
Oh, what's firing at me? Oh, okay.
Con sonar. We are cavitating.
Wowzers. Alright, well, I think you need to get one as well then, Sunshine.
Shoot tube 2.
Con sonar. Launch transient from Sierra 7.
Con, fire control, we've lost the wire.
Passing 200 feet.
So-
Passing 200 feet.
Con, torpedo room, no reloads available.
Ooh, that's bad. I say, chaps. Well, that's rather unfortunate. Run out of stuff to throw at the enemy.
Passing 300 feet.
So I got 2 Mark 48s, better make them count, and I guess 2 harpoons. So harpoons are not the most useful unless
Passing 400
the
feet.
submarine happens to have been damaged and is surfaced, and it does happen sometimes. So now what I need to do is get out of dodge, which I'm struggling to do right now.
Con
So
sonar. No longer cavitating.
to do something dramatic here. Let's kick the tail out and descend, descend, descend. Straighten up.
Passing 500 feet.
Actually, we'll see if we can get tuck underneath this USS 80. I
Passing 600 feet.
kind of going to struggle to do much offensive against whatever else
Passing
is
700
out there because I just don't have
Passing 800 feet.
the weaponry left.
Con, torpedo room.
Passing 900 feet. Make
But-
depth 1350 feet. Dive by.
Surviving to fight another
Passing
day
1100 feet.
is a merit all of itself. And it looks like I've taken out
Passing 1200 feet.
3 targets. Whoa, depth, depth, depth.
Passing 1300 feet.
Ooh.
Con maneuvering, making turns for 26 knots.
Okay, did this USS 80 detect me again? No. It's all the way up there. Okay. Can't hide down here forever, but what I can do is get it enough far away from it such that when it does detect me, I am way out of the way. Now I know I can slow down and try and sneak away, and I know it's traveled a long way, so in all likelihood it's not going to have a massive amount of fuel left. But given that the Sturgeon's acceleration's not necessarily the strongest, I don't really want to be caught with my pants down just 1,000 yards away
Con, torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
from a torpedo. So we're going to keep it firewalled right now. And I actually think I want to turn south. I'm going to turn away.
Come left to 180. Helm aye.
I'm going to head into the North Atlantic, at least for now. So I have 2 torpedoes heading northwest to engage with what we think are 2 targets. I think Sierra 7 and Sierra 8. Sierra 8 is a suspected Victor 3. And we have another torpedo,
Con, helm, steady course.
Mark 48, out that might be able to reach Sierra 5, another Victor 3. So potentially three targets we could tackle. Realistically, they should move out of the way. They should see these torpedoes coming a mile off and get out of dodge. Speaking of which, this USS 80 above me has now picked me up, so I'm going to go full evasive. I'm going to run away from him first. I'm going to get my depth up to 1320 foot. If he does manage to hit me at this depth, it's usually an immediate destruction of your boat. So running away at flank speed, I've got essentially unlimited fuel, and this thing does not, so it's going to run out of fuel eventually. Question is, who's going to run out of patience? Well, not me. My life depends on it, and this USS 80, its sole purpose is to destroy itself. close enough to a target. So its only purpose is to tackle me. So, time for a sip of my, what's this? What's an energy drink? Sip of my energy drink, whilst we continue fleeing, and, yeah. I feel like accelerating time for just a jiffy.
Con, sonar, torpedo in the water, bearing, 353.
Well, that's not very good.
Con, knuckle formed.
That's the torpedo to my north that's come all that way from, I guess, Sierra 8, maybe? I don't know. Or whatever it is, may have just picked me up, so to speak. So I'm making a ton of noise here. Pretty much means that anything with ears at this range is going to know I'm here.
Con, knuckle formed.
That means that it's not
Passing 1,300 feet.
it's not a great place to be, really. Alright, I did a noise maker. I'm going to do a numpty shuffle here.
Passing 1,200 feet.
I'm going to see if I can do a full orbit, or circle,
Passing
I should say.
1,100 feet.
I'm not orbiting around anything. Actually, no, I'm not.
Passing 1,000 feet. Con, knuckle formed.
Torpedo does remain to
Passing
the north of
900
me.
feet.
So,
Passing 800 feet.
so
Passing 700
his
feet.
rate of turn is such that I cannot
Passing
keep up with him
600 feet.
in a turning fight. But I don't
Passing
need to.
500 feet.
What I need to be able to do is to just get above the layer,
Passing 400 feet.
Con, sonar, we are cavitating.
keeping the throttle pegged. We're going to
Passing
cavitate.
300 feet.
So anything can hear me. Yeah, and this USS 80 has decided, ooh, I wonder what's further north. Let's take a look up here.
Passing 200 feet.
Now I can just about see it at the bottom of my display. But it's still fairly deep to get. Alright, we're now above the layer, which is good. So let's go here. Go. That works for me. It's still going to detect me. I get that. But I'm above the layer, so it's going to help me quite a bit. Like I say, making a ton of noise. For what it's worth, it's got a periscope depth.
4, 5 feet. Dive by.
I mean, maybe I'll detect something on the surface I can fire a harpoon at and not come home with full torpedo tubes. Maybe. Right. This thing is showing no interest in me whatsoever, which is interesting. There we go. Okay. And so it started to turn towards me and then detected the noisemaker, so... Oh, beauty.
Con, rig ship for ultra quiet.
It's fantastic. Now, I don't want to make a... I don't want to do a knuckle at this point, so we're just going to turn to port 25 degrees on the rudder, not 30. And I'm going to slow right down. There's 4 targets out there, and I have 2 Mark 48s, and I'd love to make them count for something. But short of...
Con, sonar, regained contact on Sierra 7, bearing 303.
Come left to 081.
short
Helm
of a
I.
maneuver kill, I don't like the look of those 2 torpedoes hacking it down this way.
Come right to
Gonna go ahead and
234.
turn.
Helm I.
I identify Sierra 8. Sierra 8 is not a Victor 3 then. It's a tank.
Con, sonar, noisemaker, bearing 323.
Still a dangerous opponent though. Those things have got very decent weapons. And that looks like something is under threat by one of my torpedoes. I'm gonna guess that that's Sierra 8. I hope it's Sierra 8, which 16 knots, yeah, I think it is. Sierra 7.
Con, sonar, lost contact. Sierra 5, last bearing 042. Contact faded.
Okay, let's see where these torpedoes are depth-wise. Let's take a look. Okay, that's bad. They're the same depth as me. I need to get below the layer. I'm going to sit about the 175 feet point, I think. If we sit below the layer, that just makes it that little bit harder for them to... Oh yeah, that's not good.
Passing 100 feet.
So YouTube may remove that, but I can see them clear as a bell right behind me.
Con sonar, noisemaker, bearing 3, 2, 1.
I can see him. That's not good. Okay, it's got me drop below the layer. Let's
Passing 200 feet.
pull out of this descent. Okay. I'm actually going to bring the depth up. Reduce the depth, I suppose, technically just a little bit. I ideally want to keep my tail to them. Like so. It's going to minimize my active sonar return, and I'll show you what I mean here. So this is the view that
Passing 200 feet.
the submarine has of me, the torpedo has of me. I'm a fairly small profile, so that's bouncing back the sound waves. But if I was side
Con
on,
sonar, noisemaker, bearing 3, 2, 0.
there's many times more boat for the.
Con sonar, torpedo in the water, bearing 0, 1, 7.
Okay. Oh, okay, fair enough.
Con sonar, we are cavitating.
Well, that's a little frustrating because it looks like they both detected me. My plan didn't work, but what I was trying to say was, if my side-on profile is showing, then that means that there's a lot more boat for the return to
Passing 300 feet.
bounce back. However, that didn't quite happen the way I wanted it to, because they still detected
Passing
me.
400 feet.
Con sonar, no longer cavitating.
Passing 500 feet.
Con sonar, lost contact. Sierra 7, last bearing 3, 0, 0. Contact faded.
We're going to
Passing 600 feet.
tackle these at about the 600 feet. So let me see. They're still 1,800 yards behind me. They've traveled a long way. They must be USS-80s to have detected me at this range, which is just a little frustrating. Because of course there's two of them. Now I know, it's not cheating if there's two, but it means that they're going to separate. One's going to go left, one's going to go right, and they're going to try and sandwich me in the middle. Which, again, goes back to, well, it's not cheating if there's two, but I really don't want to
Con, knuckle formed.
die a fiery death from two torpedoes. Interesting, they didn't separate. Their behavior's a little different. There we go. So one immediately turned away, and one kept on going, and then turned away when the knuckle disappeared. But they've now separated their distance, and there's a little harder for me to defend against two, because there's a few, a couple hundred yards between them, maybe. Estimate that. It's about 300 yards between them. So we'll do the same thing again.
Con, knuckle formed.
This time,
Con
same
maneuvering, making turns for
behavior.
26 knots.
So they went a different way.
Con, knuckle formed.
I'm gonna give them another knuckle when they turn back on me. Then timing that just right, you can do it so you can keep the torpedo at bay for a long time. But they are catching up with you, so it's dangerous.
Con, knuckle
Dangerous
formed.
game to play. I would say that my middle name is Danger, but it's more like Sunk. Hey, we got Sierra 8. Well, that makes me feel better now.
Con, knuckle formed.
I'm going to turn a little sooner here. I'm going to distract one, and then when that knuckle dissipates, turn back, like so,
Con, knuckle formed.
and I'm going to change my depth. Which worked for one, but not for the other. That's a very ominous sound.
Passing 700 feet. Passing 800 feet. Con, knuckle formed. Passing 900 feet.
This other one's going to drop on my head. There it goes. Yep. You're welcome.
Con, knuckle formed.
Another knuckle, boys. So I do believe torpedoes are male because they're kind of dumb. Very predictable and also dangerous. Oh, this isn't good.
Con, knuckle formed.
Yeah, that
Passing 900 feet.
when they're offset like that, that's very bad. So have a noisemaker, and I'm going to reverse the turn,
Con, knuckle formed.
try and get on top of them. If I'm on top of them, then they're not able to detect me,
Passing
and
700
it didn't work. So we'll knuckle again,
Con, knuckle formed.
and that actually worked. So usually when you're rapidly changing depth, the knuckle
Passing
doesn't
500 feet.
always work. Did here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my
Con
dive
sonar, we are cavitating.
plane's fully forward, but my ballast is still pushing me up towards the surface. So you're going to see a very unusual effect here.
Con sonar, no longer cavitating.
We are diving, but not as quick as we could be.
Passing 500 feet. Passing 600 feet. Con, knuckle
Can
formed.
sometimes confuse the heck out of torpedoes because they think I'm diving because
Passing 700 feet.
maybe they recognize my shapes pointing downwards, but I'm not diving as quickly as I could.
Passing 800 feet.
Let's crank it onto port, give it another knuckle, and now I'm
Passing
going to
900 feet.
change,
Con, knuckle
change
formed.
the orientation of the boat to level out. See, it worked. They didn't quite know what I was doing with my depth. Now, I'm still not going to get away here
Passing
because
1100 feet.
they're going to circle around and detect me in short order. Or blow up because they run out of fuel.
Passing 1200
Rig shift
Okay.
for ultra quiet.
Alright. That's good. That's very good. Right, well that's ultra quiet now.
Passing 1200 feet.
We'll get the towed array out and we'll see what on earth is
Come
going
right
on.
to
Still
267.
Three.
Helm I.
reactive contacts, but... Okay.
Con sonar regained.
Passing 1100 feet. Passing 1000 feet. Passing 900 feet.
Let us put on some
Depth
accelerate time.
550 feet. Die by.
It's actually kind of tempting to see if I can take on Sierra 7, this Tango here. And he appears to be
Dive at 550 feet. Die by.
gone to ultra quiet. He's doing 3 knots. He's not right now a direct threat, but this is why I don't like them, because they can carry all these weapons. USS 80 is the dangerous one. So yeah, for sure, I could fire upon him at this range, and my weapon's going to reach him. But my problem there is he's going to know that torpedo's on the way, and he's going to know where it came from, and he's probably going to hear the launch. So, discretion's the better part of valor. I'm going to slip away. And I think that just about concludes today's video. This was an interesting battle. I did okay, all said and done. So, hope you got something from this, and if you have, you know what to do. And if you thought it sucked, you also know what to do as well. So, thanks so much for hanging out with me, and maybe I'll see you the next time. Thanks so much, everyone.